Hi, Willie. I don't know if this is going to work or not, so I'm not sure if I'm doing this for you or if I'm just talking to myself. Who knows? I'm going to try. Uh, just to briefly show you how the routine looks like. You say stop whenever you feel like it. Let's say you say stop here. Lo and behold, that's your card. You remember that card, and I'm going to try and find your card. Um, but because I have a sense for the dramatic, I'm going to find your card not directly. I'm going to see, I'm going to find it by a process of elimination. The first card, the first card tells me that your card is clearly not, it's not a club. All right, it's not a club. That's good. Cut to another card. Let's say this card here. This card tells me something about your suit. It's not a spade. It's not a club. It's not a spade. So that's good. It's not a club. It's not a spade. It must be. It's not a club. It's not a spade, and it's also not a heart. It's not a heart. Okay, which leaves only one thing that it could be, and that is it must be a diamond. It is a diamond. I can hear you through the thing. It's definitely a diamond. It's a seven of diamonds. It's not the seven. I mean, this is the seven of diamonds. So your card is not the seven of diamonds. Let's see. Maybe it's the six of diamonds. It'd be nice if it was the six of diamonds, but I can tell that it's not the six of diamonds either. So let's try the. Is it the five of diamonds? Maybe it's not the five of diamonds. Let's. Oops, son of a bitch. It's not the five of diamonds. It must be the four of diamonds. Maybe it's the four of diamonds. I can tell you by your facial expression, it's probably not the four of diamonds either, but it is a diamond. So we'll get there eventually. Let's see if it's not the four. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I know it's somewhere in there. I'm not quite sure where it is, but it's somewhere in there. It's not the four. I know it's the three. This is the three. Your card is not the three. I'll get there eventually. It's not the three. It's the. Oh wow, that should not have happened. I messed it up, but whatever. Point being is it's the two. It's not the two either. It's not the two. There's only one left. The last one, really, whatever. It's not the two. It's the ace. Not only is it the ace, but of course I knew that all along because all the cards are the aces. Something like that. It's essentially impossible to do for a camera. I'm not super happy with it, but it is performable, and I'll tell you what I've done with it. So the setup is like this. You need the sevens and you need the aces. I tend to, if I have an audience, if I have people to talk to, I can talk myself into and out of things fairly easily. If you have to do this for yourself, it's not like I have a pattern for it. It's you have to interact. I like what I like about Magic is the interaction part. What have you? Can't interact right now. But you've seen me do Magic long enough, so you kind of know that I can do that. So the setup is this: it's an ace and a seven, an ace and a seven, an ace and a seven. Actually, the last, my bad. A7, A7, and the last A7, 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 and then it's a 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, ace, and you need to displace two cards, namely the 6. The 6 needs to go below the 4, and the 3 and the 2, you need to change those. So the whole setup is this: A7, 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 7, 5, 4, 6, 2, 3, ace. Alright. You force the ace of diamonds, and I didn't want to have one slip cut, because I mean one slip cut is great, but if you have one slip cut after the other, you want to. I didn't want that. So for the first one, you do this uppercutting the ace of spin, or you keep a break between them, so you have a double on top of this packet here. You turn the double face down, and this, because you kept the break between them, you can now feed that portion, which no part of the setup in there. You can feed that in there. and you're ready to do yet another double turnover. Another double turnover, and you can get rid of this one by doing a lift build shuffle, which is just your setup. And when you're done with the lift build, you will run one single card. And again, I think it's nice because you don't have to do yet another slip cut. So you show this one, that's the third 7, that's fine. And then you can do one slip cut. So there's nothing wrong with the slip cut, I just don't think it's good to do it three times in a row, so you just only did one. And then you do the sequence where the 7 goes 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 ace. So the first one is the John Cornelius turnover, clearly just a single. There's this French guy, forgot the name. There's, as far as I can tell, there's three ways of, probably more than that, but 3 ways that I'd like to use. One would be this: you do a KM move and turn it into a double. You can do this. The other one is what I do a lot. You do a second deal followed by a double, or what he does, I forgot the guy's name. Anyway, you palm the second card, you turn this over, and you turn it. If you talk about it, if you do it while you're talking, it's not bad. There's a nice feel to this. You turn this face down, and you immediately have a double. At any rate, doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you wind up with a double. You pick up a break below these 2. So then I mean, it does. If you're standing, or if you have a bit more space, it's nice to do just the duck change, and it changes. There you go. I mean, I'm trying not to move my hands at all, really, but whatever. So this is the 6 now. The 6 is now a double. Now you pick up a break underneath the top card. You do the same thing again, except that now it's a triple. So the triple changes into a single, and the single changes into a single. So it's 7, 6, 5, 4. Now you need to take a break below the top 4 cards. You place this on top, and you do a top card cover pass, followed by a Chris twist, because this is now going to be the 2. So first you're going to change the 4. You do a second deal and a double, and the double is the snap over double. That goes in the center, and that's this carpenter change. So you do the carpenter change. The 4 changes into a 3. Very nice. And you can't spread it. You take out the 3, but you keep a break where you took it out. You show that it's just a single. Put it back, and then you go over the 3 and do this sort of a pass there, and you pull out the bottom card and you push in the card that was in the center. So that changes very nicely. And when you replace the cards, you could, and it's almost no extra work, you can just do a double buckle. You feed the cards back in there, and you do yet another Chris twist. So in the end, you've already cleaned up. There's no facing cards, but it's sort of optional. And for the last one, obviously you can do whatever you want. You can do this sort of change, which is also very nice. And even though it's not ideal when you turn over all those cards and they all turn into aces, that's what makes it so forgiving as a routine. Because I'm not really happy with. I like going from 7 to ace. I've seen Donnie Ortiz do this once, but he went from 5 to ace. I'm guessing that 5 is probably better than 7. I just wanted to see what happens if you do it with 7. It's not ideal, but it is performable simply because of the strength of it, of the 7s, of those other 7s turning into aces. I mean, this is, as far as I can tell, the strength of doing of doing a matching the cards type of thing. Even you know, magicians versus gambler presentation. I don't like those because they're stupid as silly. No, that's not tongue in cheek. What the hell? But you apparently miss, and in the end, not only does this card change into an ace, but the other three cards, the ones that mean nothing to a magician, to a layperson, oh my god, you know, these three sevens turn into aces as well. And I think a lot of the strength is because they realize in the end it's inevitable. You know, you are always in control. You're always in charge. All of this is and this I don't know if this happens to you. Probably it happens to me more often than not. And somebody that I actually mess up a trick or something. Um, and people won't believe that. They'll say, "Nah, you know, you've been playing this all along." And I can literally say, "Oh my God, what the fuck did I just do? I just you don't even have to pretend." And they don't believe you, and then you can do whatever you want anyway. And it's one of those tricks I don't have that much experience with performing it yet, but I have performed it, and I'm not like really happy with the seventh to ace part, but it's nevertheless performable because of the matching the cards aspect of it, and I think it's a nice idea to play around with. It's not the finished product, but it's not bad enough to not be performed. So anyway, this is one of those where let me know what you think, or if you have some better ideas or what have you. And that's what the setup was for. All right, thank you. Oh my God. Oh.